Hello, hello, hello. How is everyone doing this evening? I tell you, there is a life going on in spite of all that's happening right now. And I am a witness to the blessings, the grace, the mercy, and the strength that God has given us to get through everything that we're going through. So welcome everybody to Your Gift Will Make Room for You podcast show, brought to you by the Black Professional Men Incorporated, that are ensuring the futures of African American males in our community. It is just so many things that's going on, and I know we're watching the news, and I know we're taking all the precautions, and we got the social distancing, and we're bonding with our family members like never before. We're learning who we are as individuals and sharing who we are today with the people that we're in quarantine with, and things are moving in a positive direction for most people. Some people are still having challenges because, change is difficult for all of us. Some of it's more difficult for some than others. But, with God's grace and His wisdom, we're going to get through this, and we're going to come out for the better. And I just wanted to encourage everyone today to look at the other side of the situation that we all have to deal with. Let's look at the blessings. Let's look at the good things. We look at the positive parts of everything that we're experiencing, where we've learned to slow down. We've learned to be more purposeful in what we do. And that's what I want to talk about today. The podcast show title is Your Gift Will Make Room for You. And we all had gifts and talents. We were all born with a gift. We were all born with several gifts, as a matter of fact. And we all have an opportunity to give humanity something that only each of us can give. Now, I can't give the part that you're supposed to give humanity, and you can't give the part that I'm supposed to give. But both of our parts, all of our contribution is needed so that humanity thrives, and we all get, the fulfillment, and we all get valued and appreciated for the contribution that we make to humanity and one another. So with your gifts and your talents, sometimes we stuff them or we tuck them away, and then we pull them out, like it's a holiday or a special occasion. But the gifts and talents that God has given each of us, we should be utilizing them on a daily basis in our everyday life. Because the ability to reason and problem solve, and the ability to be able to be precise and details, and people having the ability to create all kinds of products, services, environments, atmospheres. We all have something unique to add to make the world better. And so if we would just dust off our gifts and talents, I know we got to earn a living. I know we got to pay bills. I know we got to work. I know we got to work our jobs and our businesses. But we got to remember we are our gifts, and our gifts are us. And they should never be two different things. Our gifts and talents are what make us who we are, uniquely us. And those gifts and talents help other people to know that we have come this way on this journey of life, and we made our contribution. So if you have a gift or talent that you have tucked away because your job is demanding, because your responsibilities and obligations to your family and your community and your church is pulling on you for what they need from you, and you have not been walking, you have not been functioning in your gift and your talent. And your gift and your talent is something you were born with, something that came with you when you arrived on planet Earth. And when we look at those things that we do so easily, we wake up doing it. We go to sleep doing it. Wherever we are, we do that thing that's our gift, our talent. So we got to stop trying to earn a living to pay a bill and start trying to make the contribution that we all was created to make mankind and each other get better. So with the gift that I have the gift of encouragement and the gift of help. If somebody has a need and I can help they feel that need, I'll just volunteer. You don't even have to tell me, look for somebody else. I'll just jump in there because I have the gift of helps. From the moment I've been born, I've always had the gift of helps. If I can make life better for somebody, I would willingly and happily do it. I also have the gift of exhortation and encouragement. Everywhere I go, whenever I'm out and about, I'm encouraging and uplifting and helping people to recognize their gifts, their talents, and their unique wonderfulness. So when I'm out and about, I may compliment somebody on their clothes, or I may compliment them on their hairstyle. I may, say, wow, that's a great haircut you got there. Your barber really did a good job. You tight, or maybe somebody is, they got their head kind of hung down low. And, everybody's walking past them. And I say, you know what? Are you okay, miss? You okay, mister? And then they'll start saying, no, I got this going on and that going on. Well, how about if I just sit here and help you with whatever you're trying to figure out? Well, maybe I'll pray with them. And then I'll keep them on my prayer list as I make my regular prayer time. But there's a way to make people feel good that you came their way. And that's what our gifts and talents do. Our gifts and talents help people to know that we have something to give to them and they have something to give to us. And when we recognize that the gift and talents that we have are not to be kept to ourselves, it's our responsibility, it's our obligation to let those gifts and talents be shared abroad with other people. Because it gives us fulfillment and it gives us purpose. And when we have fulfillment and we have purpose in our everyday life, life is really a joy to live. And it also helps you to know that you're making a difference. And when you lay your head down at night, after your day is all done, you'll have the peace of mind. You'll have the fulfilling experience, or the feeling of, I made somebody's life better today. I got out of myself and I gave a part of myself away to somebody that needed somebody to look out for them, somebody to care about them, somebody to help them, somebody to let them know that they weren't alone, that we see you. We see you with what you're going through. We see you with the needs you have. We see you with the gifts and talents you have that we want you to share with us and with others. It's important to make sure that you're using your gifts and talents in everything you do. The other gift I have is problem solving. Now, I don't have the answer for every problem, but I'm a brainstormer. So as a brainstormer, if you give me a scenario, a situation, or something going on, I can come up with at least 5 to 10 possible solutions for that problem, situation, or circumstance. That's because that's the way I'm built. I'm a logical thinker, but I'm also what I consider a optimistic realist. I see things as they are, but I know that they can be a lot better. The good things can be better. The bad things certainly can be better than they are. So it's important to recognize your gift and know what God used you for. When you show up, God uses us, all of us, as a vessel to get something done for somebody else. So when we pray to God and we ask Him for the things we need, the things we want, the problems we trying to resolve. We ask Him for the help, the guidance, the direction, the wisdom, the understanding, everything we need. We ask God for it. But God's not dropping anything out of the sky. He's sending it through people, through you and me. So when we realize that we are all we're vessels used by God. Now, some of us can be used by God a little bit, And some of us could be used with God on a part-time basis, and some of us can be used by God in our lifestyle. So when we realize that we have a special gift and talent, like we all do, when we realize that gift and talent is to be shared and not kept to ourselves, then we get out of ourselves, get out of what we need, what we don't have, and what nobody's doing for us. And we start finding a way to help somebody else with the gift and talents that we have. And in addition to that, we help other people recognize that I need that gift and talent that you have. I wish I could do that, but I don't have the grace to do that. You've got the grace to do that. So when we use our gifts and talents, we're able to let the other person know that they're needed and necessary. And they're able to let us know that we're needed and necessary. Because all of us don't have all the gifts. I have some, the next person has some, but none of us have them all. God got them all, but we don't have them all. So it's important that we share our gifts. Don't try to figure out how to do something if you don't have the grace and the gift to do it. There are people walking around you every day to have the gift and the grace to do what you need done. Instead of you trying to get the training for it, instead of you trying to figure out how to do it, allow yourself to utilize somebody else's gift. And when I say utilize, I don't mean use it up, take advantage of it, and don't compensate people for the gift that they give you. One of the other things that we have challenges with a lot of time is when we give the gift of talent, sometimes we're good at giving, but we're not good at receiving. Sometimes we're good at patronizing other people for their gifts and talents, but then we don't allow others to give us a blessing or a financial blessing or some value for what we give to them. And that's a challenge for a lot of us, especially us givers and us caregivers, because we're so used to pouring it out that we haven't learned, many of us, how to receive. So when you're giving your gifts and talent, you don't necessarily have to get money for it, but you do need to be compensated in some way. So value add value. So if I'm sharing my value and gift, you can share your value and gift, and that's a fair exchange. It doesn't matter what we sell it for in the marketplace. If I need your gift and talent and you need my gift and talent, and I have what you need and you have what I need, then we can just trade off. No money has to exchange hands. I've added my value to you. You've added your value to me. We made the world better. So I got a chance to celebrate the gift and talent that you have, and you have an opportunity to celebrate the gift and talent that I have. And together we celebrate and value and appreciate everybody else's gifts and talents. So with your gift and talent, just know that you can't keep it to yourself. And you must use it in your everyday life. Don't wait till you get to church on Sunday. Don't wait till you sign up for a special event. Don't wait till you happen to find some people that's, they just want to, take advantage of everything that they can get and don't give anything back. Let us make sure that we're actually allowing us to partake in one another's gift and help each other to recognize the gifts that we have, because some people are walking around with gifts and talents that they don't recognize is a gift and a blessing that they can share with others, because they compare their gifts and talents with other people. And because some people have this gift or that talent, they feel like whatever they have is not as valuable or as good as the person that they are idolizing. We all are valuable. We are all needed. We are all necessary. And we all are unique and wonderfully and fearfully made. And each of us adds something to the world that only we can add. And God doesn't want us to be a carbon copy of a carbon copy. He wants us to be the one and only us, giving, contributing, and adding what only we can add. Only what we can add ourselves. not something that somebody else can add. Because even when we go to school and we go to college and get these degrees and get these trainings, we are all gifted and talented in a way that those skills that we learn in school, college, and training, we add those gifts and talents to the skill. So even though we all nurses, or we all writers, or we all speakers, or we're all whatever we are, when I do it, I add this flair. When you do it, you add that flair. When they do it, they add their flair. And all of what we do is unique to us. Nobody can beat you doing you like you do you. So instead of trying to be the next so-and-so, strive to be the one and only you. Because when you become the only you, then the so-and-so that you were trying to be like, you will outdo them because they can't be you like you can't be them. So when we realize that our gifts and talents are needed to share with each other, then we don't just work jobs to pay bills, to buy stuff for people that really don't care about us or appreciate what we do. We have those gifts and talents and we go to work. We go to work adding value every day, wherever we are, whatever we're doing. We're sharing who we are, what we know, what we've learned, what we can do, what we innately know how to do because God birthed us with the gift. Then it's a matter of us realizing that unless we're operating in our gifts and our talents on a regular basis, then we're really just existing. And we could be making tens of thousands or millions of dollars. But if we're not operating and functioning in the gift and talent that God has given us, then we're living unfulfilled lives. And there's nothing worse than waking up today, waking up tomorrow, waking up next week, waking up next year, waking up 5 years, waking up 10, 15 years later and realize that you have not done the thing that you were created to do. We've earned living, we've paid bills, we've bought stuff, but we are not fulfilled when we just do that. So whether you work your job to earn a living, or the way you work your job provide a service or adds value to the community, add the value that your gift and talent provides to that job you work. Don't just do what the job requires. Do it the way you would do it when you add that special something that make you uniquely you. For a long time, I worked my job, and I didn't just do what the job required. I was doing what made me happy so that I can enjoy doing the job every day, year after year. So one of the things I did was I would talk to people that I had to work with to get my job done. And I built a lot of rapport, a lot of relationships. I never met these people in person. Some of them I actually did. But I never really met them, most of them. But we just met on the phone. We got to know each other. We talked about some of the challenges we had. We celebrated some of the highs of our lives and things we accomplished. We talked about some of our hopes and dreams while we were doing our jobs. So by doing that, it wasn't just a job for me. It was me doing me the way it fulfilled me, but yet I still did the job. So when I left the job and started my own business, the same things I did on the job, I did in my business. Because when I was working my job, I wasn't just working a job, I was being me. And I was doing what I like doing that fulfilled me. So when I started working as a business owner, I realized the same way that I was building rapport with those people, those clients that my job wanted me to work with, were the same people that I built rapport when I was building my client base for my business. And because of that, it wasn't a hard transition to go from employee to employer. So it was like when we realized that life should be fulfilling, and it should be fun, and it should be interesting, it should be different every day. One of the things that I didn't like about a job was that you did the same things every day, every year, all day. So that kind of living was just not comfortable for me. So I had to do my job the way I live my life. And I just added the requirements of the job to the way I live my life while I work my job. So when we learn to be true to ourselves and to operate in our gifts and talents, and when we recognize the value of those gifts and talents, it helps us to celebrate the people around us, because when we know our value, when we know our worth, when we know what we bring when we show up, it's easier for us to celebrate others when they come in our presence. Because when I feel good about me, then I can celebrate you. But if I don't feel good about me, then it's hard for me to feel good about you. So when we learn to appreciate the gifts and talents that God has given us, we then learn to appreciate the gifts and talents that God has given other people. And when we do that, we say that we're better together than apart. It says it takes a team to make the dream come to reality. So if I have a gift and talent, and we are part of a group, and we have a common goal that we're working on, and I may be the lead, or you may be the lead, or somebody else may be the lead. If we all recognize the contribution that we all have to add to this team project, if I'm functioning my gift and talent and my ability, and each of the other members are doing the same, that project is going to be awesome. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be like the most wonderful thing that we can create, because I'm operating in my gift and talent, and so is the other people in the group. And it's nothing like seeing somebody try to do all the roles when they got 5 other people with gifts and talents that can do all those other parts that they're trying to do by themselves. And you know what happens when you don't allow people to share their gifts and talent? It says that I'm more and you're less. I have everything and you have nothing. When we allow other people to use their gifts and talents around us, we help them build their confidence, their self-esteem, and help them to know how valuable and needed they are. Don't try to make yourself be the everything. Allow other people to add to you, and allow yourself to add to other people. And when we do that, it's important to realize that I need validation and I need appreciation just like the next person. And it's important that we give that to each other, because I don't know about you, but I feel like if many of us in the world would take the time to appreciate and value what other people add to our lives, there'd be a lot less hate, there'd be a lot less jealousy, there'd be a lot of people feeling like they're unneeded and undeserving. And then the world would change for the better for all of us. But with all that being said, I only wanted to share 30 minutes tonight. But like I did the first time I started this podcast, I wanted to share some encouragement with those of you who are watching and those of you who will watch it later. I wrote this book last year in October called Rest in God, How to Keep Living When Life Gets Hard. And I didn't realize it then that we was going to have the situation that we have right now. But it is meant to encourage you. And the preface of the book is called The Cheryle Ricks Story Part 2. And it reads as follows. As I mentioned in my first book, Sister Circle, The Power of Sisterhood, A Guide to Becoming the Woman God Designed You to Be, life can be very difficult. And those difficulties do a work in us like nothing else can. In the first part of my life, I survived domestic violence, a mental health breakdown, and no self-esteem. In the second part of my life, I discovered my purpose, which is the greatest discovery a person can make. When we learn what we're created to do, we get on a road called destiny and purpose. That road is not a journey for the faint of heart. When we step out on faith and pursue the dream and passion that God has put in our hearts, we will face trials, tribulations, and challenges that will make us question whether we're doing the right thing. On my road to destiny and purpose, I faced a foreclosure in my home, being diagnosed with skin cancer and breast cancer, being sued by a debt collector, and bankruptcy. But God made the worst part of my life the best part of my life. God gave me a true village. During that most difficult time, I learned how many people in my life truly loved and cared about me. It was amazing to see how much love, support, encouragement, assistance, resources, help, hope, and enjoyment my family, friends, and even strangers gave me during the seemingly darkest time of my life. I continued to live my life in spite of what I was going through. I decided not to make my circumstances my life. I resolved to keep enjoying my life and the people and things I always had. I reminded myself how blessed I was and how awesome my life still was, even though I had these situations. I took everything to God and allowed Him to walk me through those challenges like He had done for every other problem I faced in my life. I trusted His unconditional love for me and the promises in His Word. I held on to my faith in God, who I was in Him, and the plan He had for my life. I believed He would bring me through everything I was going through, and I was going to be the better for having gone through it, and I was. You see, faith, love, and hope make life and everything else possible. Without these three things, a joy-filled and satisfying life is not obtainable. But more importantly, we must receive the true love of God, keep our faith in Him, and hold on to the hope that God created us for much more than we can see in our current situation. God's word ensures us that God is able to bring us through. Jesus looked at them and said to them, "With men this is impossible, but with God all things are possible." I read that because there's a lot of people going through a whole lot of extra stuff than what we're going through with the coronavirus situation. And some of those people are at the end of their rope. Some of those people are really challenged by the change. They're challenged by their living situations. They're challenged by how they're coping through all this going on. So if you're interested in getting a copy of this book, which is called Rest in God, How to Keep Living When Life Gets Hard, you can inbox me and let me know what your email address is, and I'll send you the whole book review, the whole book excerpt as well, and some of the book reviews. And you can get your copy. And if you don't want to buy the book, you can just email me and I'll send you the complete excerpt of the book. And that, just reading that a few times a week will help you stay encouraged. But again, I'd like to thank the Black Professional Men Incorporated for allowing me to come to speak with you guys today. I pray that with all that we're going through, that we look to God for the things that we need. Look for God for the fears that we have. Look to God for the love that He has for us. And look to God to get through everything that we're going through, like we've been through everything else. And I'd just like to take a minute to pray for everyone. Our Father God, we just love you. We love you for your unconditional love. We thank you for your strength, your courage, your grace, and your mercy. We thank you, Lord, for providing our every need. We thank you for forgiving us for our every sin and anything that we've done that has been unpleasing in your sight. We thank you for your mercy, and we thank you for allowing us to enjoy the salvation of your Son, Jesus Christ. And we just thank you for the plan and purpose you have for our lives. We thank you that this too shall pass. And when we come out of this COVID-19 situation, we will be in a better place than we were when we came into it. We ask you to look out for everybody. We ask you to keep us safe, keep us free from the disease, keep us healed, keep us whole, keep us trusting and relying on you for everything we need. In Jesus' name, I ask all these blessings. So again, until next time we talk, remember your gift will make room for you. God bless.